Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another airbrushing step by step. Today's video we are doing batbaby. Here's some of the products that we are going to be using in today's video. Right guys, so there's some of the pieces we're using. There's a few more, but I'm going to talk you through these now. Colours, it said at that beginning part, I'll explain the colours as we paint. Now, all the paints we're using today is FW inks and they're mixed with the isopropanol and the water mix. Now I've got some of the ones here. We've got a black mixed. We've got a cool grey mixed, which we can then tone down with a drop of black. I've got a orange, like a yellowy orange mix. This will be for the logo in the centre of the chest. This was out the bottle. I'll leave the paint in the description so you can pick these ones up. And the flesh tone that I've got three. Now these are the ones I've mixed up previous. Now how I mixed these was, it's basically you're getting an orange, mix an orange and a red and a yellow, and then you are dropping tiny amounts of blue and you're just knocking it back, and then you get sort of a, you'll see it when we spray. I'll talk you through these three we're going to have a look at, because we can use these like a transparent. The lighter you go with your spray, and then it can go up to like sort of full opaque, which will be like the dark tones in this flesh tone on the baby's arms coming down, a little bit on the legs and a bit in the face and around the eyes and the ears. The other thing that I was going to say that I've done, because you can see here, I've projected the image up and then I've used transfer tape, which is this. This actual roll is by rtape.com. I'll leave a link in the description to this one. Your best bet, I'd say, is eBay for transfer tape. It's a paper tape with a very low tack sticker, so we can stick it to our paper and just peel it away like that. So I've projected batbaby up, penciled it, then I've put application tape over the top, penciled round it again on all the outers. So we've got an outer mask. I've got the actual mask on the baby. I've cut the eyes out and I've cut the separate pieces out. So I can drop the eyes, I've got the eye pieces, I can put these back in to place like that. When we take the mask off, I can shield the eyes off, I can shield the mouth off, and you can take these pieces away and put them back. It just helps you keep from your darks to your lights, because we've got a dark edge. We could do all this freehand and go around with shields, but it's a lot easier this way and a cleaner way. And it will be sharper on points where I need it to be sharper. Round near the t-shirt, we're going to go freehand all in. The bat logo I'm going to cut out to make it sharp. The rest of it, just freehand straight in with the airbrush holding the shields how I normally do. But certain things you can use to get the sharps, and I do recommend transfer tape, guys. It is an absolute godsend for airbrushing with, it really is, because as I say, you can pencil on top and you can just transfer your images across, and you can use it for masking as well. It's not an expensive product for the amount you get on the roll. You're getting like 100 meters or 50 meters on a roll like this. This one's around 200 mil wide by say 50 to 100 meters long, and I've had this one ages and it just lasts. So they're the bits. I'll move you in closer and we will crack on. Hopefully we'll get this done in one episode. If not, I'll split it to two, but I'll show you the full process on batbaby. So let's crack on. Right guys, the camera mic wasn't on, so I'm just going to do a talk over on this and try and mirror match it the best I can. I'm basically pointing at the application tape on the bits that we're starting on. So we're going to start on the mouth area and the eyes around there. You've got the ears. As I'm pulling away here, you can sort of pull back the application spray and you can just fold that back, so you can do it that way. Test your brush, as I've always said, test it to the side, and we're going in with this first skin tone out of the three. I'm just going to test the colour on this side I think this one's the lighter one of the three. It's got more of like the orange tone in it. And this is what I mean by dropping the blue in. When you get your orange mix and you drop the increments of blue, that's going to colour shift it and pull it across, and you'll get like a deep browny orange colour, and that's the sort of tone you're looking for. So when you spray it very lightly, you'll get like a real soft shade, and then the darker you go, that opaque will come through. Just removing some of the pencil lines, because where I've put the application tape on, cut it out and put it back over my pencil drawing, the pencil lines can be slightly out, so I'm just rubbing out the ones that are just coming in slightly on the piece of paper. So just first off, very lightly dusting in, always going very light, especially when you're using the skin tone mixes like this, because the FW inks, they are opaque colours. We are really reducing it. If I was to hit this really hard, you'd get the full solid colour. So I'm just going in light and just layering it over the top. So when you spray very light, you're seeing a lot of the white paper through it. It's going down sort of, if you was to zoom right in, it'd be specular and you'd see a lot more white. The more you spray, the darker it will get. So just working around this mouth. The mic footage does come back on a little bit further on. We've just got to get through this section here. So in the corner of that crease there, just building up and just going in light. That's all I can say, guys. Just work light. Do not go too dark too quick. A lot of people want to see results the minute they pull the trigger on the airbrush. They want to see that solid line, and it's not about that. It's about building that sort of undertone up and then just layering on top and create that sort of rounded shape that you're after in that face. So just working around the top part of the mouth where the mask is. The good thing about application tape as well, it's keeping your areas nice and clean, so you're not getting any overspray anywhere else, and your image will become sharp. This was the point of the video today. I do mention this at the end of the video. It's about using application tape in your artwork, and that's why I chose this one today, because it's got a lot of sharp areas around the picture that you really need to keep sharp, and this was sort of the best way of doing it. We could go round with using shields like I did yesterday in yesterday's portrait, but this way it's just a lot cleaner because we've got a white background and just a lot more easier to do. Once you've got your shapes cut out, you're good to go. Moving back on to cutting the application tape out. On the image you can see there I've got the actual mask cut out. Now if you was to lay 2 more sheets of application tape on top of this, pencil round, because you'll see the pencil outline from underneath, the first initial one that you pencil up on your projector of the batbaby, you put your 2 layers of application tape on, and then you can pencil again. Then you could cut through 2 layers of application tape and you'd have spare masks. So if you mess up on one, you slightly touch it together, because when this paper touches itself together, it is an absolute nightmare to pull apart. It sticks really lightly to things, but when it touches itself together, it grabs. So you can lose a shield quite easily, because you can pull it away from your cutting mat and it curls up. You can really lose it quite quick. So I'm just pulling back on the ears and just puffing a little bit of colour in. Just dropping the tone in on them ears, and then we can go back to them a little bit later. And always check your brush as well. Just stop now and again, check your brush for tip dry, because you can get carried away painting and that paint can be building up on the front of your needle. You go to commit and then you can get a splatter of paint going over your work, and then you've got to start thinking about repair work, repairing your work, repairing it all the time. Everyone says to me, how do you get by mistakes? It's very rarely I make them. If I do, they're very minor, and I'll sort of do cover-ups. I'll extend a line a bit further, or just do a bit of shading just slightly deeper to cover it, because once the whole picture's together, It's very rare someone will spot that mistake once you've done that little cover up over. But if you do make drastic mistakes, like you're spraying and it splatters paint, try and get the paint off as quick as you can. Have some cotton buds to hand that you can just quickly wipe and get rid of some of the paint. But just try your best, concentrate on what you're doing. Keep your brush clean, then you won't get them splatters out the front of your brush. Just keep checking it to the side. Just working in the eyes, we're doing a tone in the eyes, and then we'll sort of build the tone up on the eyes, because the eyes are brown in the centres, and then it's got that soft shading round, but you've got the hard edges of the mask, which you're going to see a bit later on when we shield the eyes back up and then we work onto the mask. That'll be the next part. So just getting the next tone ready, testing it to the side before I commit on the piece of artwork. Just going in on the sides of the eyes, just darkening these off. And just building it up. Keep an eye on your reference. If you are working from a tablet, or you could be working from a piece of paper, if you're working from a tablet, the beauty of that is you can pinch and pull it, and you can just bring a section up that you're working on, which is really good. Instead of looking across at your artwork, your reference, and you're sort of staring at the whole picture for a split second, and then you're homing in on what you're looking at on your reference. With the tablet, you can pinch and pull, or you could literally chop your images up and save each section. Break your image down into, say, 8 pieces, squares. Save each square, and then just pull a square up at a time and work in that area, and then move to the next one. It's just nice to look across at your reference and have the piece exactly what you're working on, because it's a bit overwhelming when you look across to the reference and you're trying to spot again where you're actually working, because you're working in very, very small areas. Like the eye here, this eye is around 20 mil, so you can fit it in a 20 mil square. So then when you're staring across at that reference, you're staring at all them little details and them soft shades and them lines in that 20 mil square. So if you can pinch and pull it on your tablet and bring it up, it does make it a lot easier to look at. It's just working on the other eye now, dropping the tones in, and basically doing what I've just done to the left side. We're moving on to the right and just building it up the same. Shields are really handy, like you see here, for the sharp edges. I will be getting my set very, very soon, guys, which will have curves like this for eyes, a straight edge on it for long straights, big half curves so you can go around pieces like the chin and things like that. I'm going to design a set basically for portraits to about A3 size, so all sorts of shapes on a portrait of an A3 size. These shields will be perfect for that, because there's nothing worse than ferreting around on a shield looking for a shape to go for something, because they're very similar. Because this one's a fire stencil from an old set, and it's just one I've had knocking around for a long time, and it's just good for working in like shapes around the eyes and things like that. Just putting that darker tone in, and then we'll go in again with a sort of darker tone like a black. I think it's black next, and then just start to work it in.
Have we got sound? We've got sound. Right. Sorry guys, the mic wasn't clipped in, so you've seen me paint this. I'll just talk you through it. We used a skin tone first off and just dusted in around these bits and around the eyes. Then I went in with a darker skin tone, went round on the darks, it's like a dark brown, and then I mixed a few drops of black in it just to tone it down, so we got up to here. So you've seen me paint it, and now I'm just talking you through it. We dropped a little bit on the ears, just a little pass of colour like that, and I'm cleaning the brush out. So I'm going to now drop just black. This is a thinned out black. And now we can go in and just start to drop some darks in. Moving on to this one. Just a little bit around that mouth. Just a pass here in the corner. In this corner here. Here as well. In this corner here. Dark bit. Right, we've got that in. So we've got the eyes in place. Just need a little bit of a tone. Right, that's that bit in. We shall drop a bit on this ear. We're going to go back in with that skin tone and just drop a little bit more colour on the ear. Same with this one, just darken it out a bit. Drop some colour in. Like that. back in with the black. Just pull that through. Dark on here. Dark. Right, so that's them bits in. Move the dummy out of the way, and then we can just drop that in. We'll just go in that with freehand. Now, this is like a blue colour, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some of the Payne's grey, and we'll drop some of the Payne's grey in there. Right, we've got some of the Payne's grey. And we're just going to go in nice and light. Over this. Right, that's that in.
Nice and simple. We got that bit in. We can rub out any unwanted pencil lines, because where I put the shield, there was a few lines that were just out of place. Just get them out of the way. So we've got that piece in, that piece, the ears are in. We can now demask this piece. And we can put that to one side. We can save that and reuse it. That's the beauty of the application tape. You can just move it and then reuse it when you want. So then we can just get the eyes and we can drop them and cover them up. So you're not going to get any overspray back on the eyes. You can do the same with the ears, but we can shield that. Centre of the mouth. Please say I saved it. I did. We can drop that in. Like that. So we can drop that in. Once you get it as close to as you can. You can soon go in later, and if you're slightly off, you can go in later and just sharpen bits up. That'll do. Right, I've got the Payne's Grey in, so I'm just going to drop a bit of Payne's Grey on these bits here. Down this. On these. Like that. And drop some in here. In here. Shield that ear off. A little bit down here. A little bit in this eye here. Just drop a bit there, drop a bit there. Bit at the top. Dust some over. Like that. Then I'm going to go in with another few drops of Payne's Grey and some black. Let's just see what this is like. Right, we really need this. Masking off. I think I cut this over. Doesn't matter, we can drop that one in there. Just want to see what this is coming out like. That's good for a first tone.
drop the shielding on this one. Just trying to find a straight edge. Build it up. Centre line. Working it, just following where I'm going on the reference. If you need a shield, use a shield. Here.
I'm going to mix some more Payne's grey up and then add the black to that. I can tint over it. That's the tone I'm after. A little bit sharper here. I'm not talking much, I'm just concentrating, guys, but you can see what I'm doing. Working the shield. Just darkening bits off where they need to be darkened off. A little bit there, a little bit there. Darker here. Ooh, I'll watch that here. Should have cut the shields out for the ears really, but it doesn't matter. Right, we'll just move this over a bit. Got some overspray kicking in. just move these and see how these are looking. So if you don't line things up, you can get little white edges like this on places, but you've not got to worry about that because you can go back in. It's not a problem because we've got to drop some I'm going to go with this colour on this, because on that drop shadow. Drop a little bit of that, just coming in there. Right, we'll get the posca and just drop the highlights in on the eyes where they need to be. Any more little bits. Got a little smudge. Smudge them in. Right, we've got that in for a first pass. Any unwanted pencil lines, we can just nib them out. We are going to come back in on this and sharpen and darken things up. This will all pop once we lose the masking like this. Then you see the colour and the pop. Because this is like an off-white and then that is real crystal white underneath. Right. We're going to lose this Payne's grey mix, clean the brush out, and we're going to drop the cool grey in. But first off, I'm going to cut the Batman logo out, cover that up, and then we're just going to come down, start working down on the t-shirt, drop that in, then we'll drop the arms in and then work down to the bottom. And we'll get the cool grey and we'll just start to add a tone on this t-shirt, and just I'm literally going in where there's the creases, just going in a little bit darker where they are, just dropping some paint in. Just sketch this in round here first, because we are going to be going darker. Just going to drop it past the paint in. And here. Just blasting the paint in. And in here. Get some paint in. Test it to the side. Working it nice and light. Right, little pause. Right guys, we're working this top in. I'm doing mixes of the cool grey, and then I'm dropping little bits of black into it just to tone it back. A few drops of black just to make it a darker mix. And then we're going to tint over this as well with the Payne's Grey. Just get the shield on a sharper edge here. We are going to go a lot darker on this. I was going to shield the badge off, but I'm just working around it. Right, where are we here? Hard to see on this where I've put the ripples of the t-shirt. Something like this. It'll all blend in. dark in here. Drop that in. Just gonna right, that's a pass on that. Just give the brush a little clean out. Because I've got warm air coming across the studio, it's drying out quick. So just a quick clean through. I'm going to drop a little bit of the Payne's grey in. And we're just going to tint over some of these bits. A little bit more on this. Coming down here. Right, just going to go in with black now. More in here. I'm just going to darken up these areas. Very washed out black, but I don't mind that because I can just build on it. Grab the shield. of paint. Just going to keep working this black across. This little bit in here. Just some weird random little pattern. Little, might be the stitching down here. That's okay there. Right, back in with that Payne's grey. Just going to blue these off now. Drop that tone there for now. Right, that'll do for that pass. Just going to get back on the black. That little line in there. Little buzz around that top. Right, we're nearly ready to move on to the logo in a moment. So we're working down, sort of building the tones up. We're using Payne's grey, black, we're using the cool grey, mixing that with the black and toning it down and then dropping the tones in. We're going to work this piece in next. So I'm just going to go for cut the centre out, drop the yellow in first, and we'll drop the logo on top. But we've got to cut that piece out, which is just here. So we'll cut that out. We'll drop the yellow in and then drop the black on top. So I'll just cut this out, I'll be with you shortly. Right guys, as you can see we've got that cut out, shielded this off, and we're going to drop this orange in. That's that down. So I've just got to get this in place. As near as damn it. Got a little line in here. Let's get some black. Right, fingers crossed, that's got it. Yep. Now we just need to finish the drop shadow off just on this crease here. Like that, teeny bit above. Like that. We've got one here. I think we're about there. Yep. So a quick look now at this. That's the logo in. Just going to darken this line off around here with the shield. That's better. Fade these up a bit more. Here. Really need that to be a bit darker. Around there. In these eyes. Fade a bit up here. I don't want that sort of edge. I want a straight in there. Went over that edge. Doesn't matter. Right, that's that bit in. Now we can start to work. We will move this masking now because I'm not fussed about this. Just move this away. I can just go in and get rid of pencil lines that jumped out of place with putting the masking on. So we can start working this down in here. Clean the brush out again, go back to the skin tone, drop some of this skin tone in. Then we've got some greys again in here. A little bit of grey on the shoes, and then like a drop shadow at the bottom. So probably another half hour and we'll be done. Then we're just going to tone these in again a bit on the eyes, just put a bit more tone on the eyes and a bit on the ears. We'll do that when we've got the skin tone in. Little blast through. And just going to put a bit more tone in on these. Tablet keeps switching itself off. Bit more on these bits. Right, we'll start. Just work this in here. I'm going to go with the other skin tone as well, I think. Just loose. Backing off with the brush. A little bit down these fingers. Move that shield. Get rid of that. Just going to get the other skin tone. I think it was this one that I used. Both the same to me. Should be another one. Here it is. little bit on these arms. See there. Get some dark. This is all dark here, so just back off that and just drop a bit of dark in. Bit of tone on these fingers. Nothing up there. Just going to drop that darker on here. And here. Right guys, excuse the bit at the beginning. I had to do a talk over at the beginning. Got everything set up, got the camera behind me, and the mic wasn't on the camera. This one was, but that one wasn't, so it wasn't recording the vocals. So I did a voiceover, so I hope you sort of picked up what I was on about. Then the sound came on and we sort of cracked on. Then as I'm painting, I'm just getting into the painting, I'm just working down. So it was you didn't see much of this piece. You probably just seen to about here on the end of the video, but we just sort of got this in freehand down the bottom. Bit of a drop shadow with the black, came up on the hands and finished it off. Now, the colours that I used in this, because there were mixes going along, I hope you picked up on some of the ones that I was doing. We used an orange straight out the bottle, FW inks, for the logo. We've used a black, a thinned out black with the isopropyl mix, and I've used a jet black as well, and just sort of put a couple of drops of this and just topped the black up so it's a lot darker, just to go in on some of the darker spots. We used a Payne's grey to drop the bluish tone in the top of the mask, and then coming across in certain bits of the t-shirt we've used Payne's grey. We've used a cool grey when we did the t-shirt, and I went in on a first pass with the cool grey and then just toned the cool grey black back with a drop of black or a couple of drops of black, and then just built that up and then finished off with a jet black in the creases. Posca paint pen for the highlights, drop it on and then just smudge and blend in. trying to think everything else. Skin tones that I used. I've got 3 mixed, and these 3 are sort of similar. Very similar in tone. I've got a load more in the other room, and I just grabbed 3 that look sort of to the picture. We've used these. Now I mixed these. They were basically an orange, so I've mixed a yellow and a red. It was a deep orange, and then just very lightly drop a blue in it and just start to bring it back until you get that sort of brown sort of tone. It just sort of knocks it back, and we've just used that on it. So I hope you picked up some bits. This video was basically to show you transfer tape, how you can use transfer tape to sharpen an image up. If you want to get them real sharps and clean on the outside, you can use the transfer tape. It's brilliant, guys. It really is. Highly recommended for your artwork, not permanently for your artwork. If you've seen in yesterday's video where we did the portrait, there was no application tape in that. That was just sort of airbrushing down using the shields. But we could have used that on yesterday's and sort of masked out the outside, but we were doing a background on that anyway. This one's sort of just a white background, so I wanted to keep it nice, clean, nice and sharp, and just airbrush sort of all in on the internal. I've done a lot of projects where I've used this. My bonnet on my car, which is on the channel, all the intricate sort of spray guns and airbrushes that I painted on my car bonnet, I used application tape, so you can just cut out all the intricate pieces and you can lay them in and take them out, and you get some real sharp edges, especially when you're airbrushing objects. Like say you wanted to spray an airbrush, for instance, you could project this up and then application tape and cut, so it was all the sharp, because everything's sharp on this. It's only when you come to spray it you get them soft tones and different things like that. So I hope you've enjoyed the video on batbaby. Tomorrow's one is the up close and personal with the brushes. We're going to attach a real tiny camera to the front of the brush, and we're going to go through some brushes. We'll go through the custom Takuma, we're going to go through H&S's, we'll grab a few brushes off the shelf. There is a brush that someone put a comment on. He's looking at buying this brush and he was just curious about the cup and how the paint flows in the cup. So I'm going to run through that one as well. So it's going to be sort of a mixed bag, all compiled into one video. We're going to do some close-ups, some painting, atomization. You'll get to see that real close-up on the paper with different brushes with the microscope camera on the front. And we'll just run through a little test. It's an Iwata side feed brush, so it'll probably be interesting if you wanted to see a brush and how it performs. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, click that subscribe, press that notification so you don't miss out on any more upcoming videos. Drop your comments. I'll get back to you as quick as I can in the comments, and I really appreciate your feedback on the videos. If you do need any help, just drop it in the comments. Don't feel bad that it's like, oh, I'm going to hound him for questions. Just drop your question in the comments and I'll get back to you. And if I can answer it and help you out, I will. That's what it's about. That's what this channel is about, is to help you beginners out as much as I can. So I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Cheers.